Hey, so let's talk about the lessons that we can all learn when you are being let go abruptly. Specifically, if you are a parallel entrepreneur, meaning that you worked a 9 to 5 while you in turn had your business that you did evenings, weekends, and you're a small business and your business is successful, it's generating revenue, but unfortunately you may have been let go before you were ready. And so I want to share some lessons that we can all learn from right now, just with everything that's going on here in the industry. So as I wait for you all to come in, please share in the comments where you're chiming in from, where you're watching this video from. I will come back and reply to everyone that watches the video. Just say hi to me. Let me know that you are a first-time viewer. I would love to stay connected with you. And in the end, at the end of this video, I am going to invite you to do a complimentary consultation with me should you have any questions and needing any help with your bookkeeping business. So as I wait for you all to come in, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Precious Rutland. I'm the owner of Precious Rutland LLC, and we help real estate investors and small business owners grow and scale their business by 20% in 90 days or less during their bookkeeping, tax prep, and financial advisory services. Okay, so I got my notes here, so if you see me looking down, making sure I cover everything that I wanted to say to you in this live that we're doing today. So number one, financially, it's very important to have a cushion fund. I like that term better than emergency fund, or even we could use the term security fund. But I got away years ago from using that term emergency fund, because it's kind of like you are anticipating for something to happen, and you want to have a different outlook on what you want to call that fund. So now some people may disagree, but that's just my personal preference and what I've learned in being in business, and about mindset and how you have to be careful of the words that you speak and how you think. It's very critical, especially if you're being an entrepreneur, you're building legacy for yourself. But financially, again, it's very important that you have a cushion fund. And this is going to be the one thing that you go to, you got it in the bank. It gives you a piece of security, a piece of comfort, knowing that you have this built up and that you can survive. So it's one thing to have a traumatic event such as what's going on right now at the time of this live, where government is doing layoffs abruptly. No one knows when they're going to be let go. You can be there working all day, and then at the end of the day, you're receiving emails and you're gone. And so when you are an entrepreneur and you doing your bookkeeping the correct way, you're paying yourself first, when you have that cushion fund set up, it's essentially setting you up for what is to come. So that way you have that money set aside, you're able to continue living life as usual, because you're already going to be dealing with the emotional feeling of being let go, because that's your livelihood. But it's one less thing to worry about when you know that you have a certain pot of money set aside, such as your business's reserves, and you can use that money to keep you afloat should you decide to go out, get another 9-to-5, or you decide to go all in and to pursue your business full-time, which is similar to how I started out when I made that transition to go from the 9-to-5 and pursue wholeheartedly my business. So type a 1 in the comment if you have started your cushion fund, or after after listening to this video, you're going to start putting together your cushion fund. So type a 1 in the chat. Okay, number 2, lesson number 2. And this was a reminder for you all. I'm quite sure you may know this, but if not, what I've learned in my over 11 years of being an entrepreneur is that once someone shows you their colors, so to speak, or who they are, like, you have to believe it at face value. Like, rarely do people change, like, once they show you who they are, whether it's people or companies. So unless you want to continue to give away your power or be dominated by things that you can't control, you have to remember that, you know, once someone shows you who they are, like, that's who they are. They won't change unless they decide to change. Like, it's just their mentality. And so it's going to be on you as a person to decide how you will respond once they show you their true colors and who they are. So for instance, not everyone, but, you know, the people that were affected by the layoffs, I know it comes to a surprise of, like, how abruptly it can happen, but even then, like, we saw the signs all along, you know, especially with, you know, government always having to continue to do continuing resolutions, or the companies saying that they're starting to do layoffs, and, you know, they're just doing things abruptly. They've been rolling back DEI. You know, you've been with a company for years and years, and, you know, just to hear stories as you're going online, whether it's the news, social media, it's like every day you turn around, someone else is sharing their stories about how they're being abruptly let go. And this just goes to know that we should all be taking notes, that the signs have been there all along, regardless of how they say the economy is doing or how we're progressing. Like, we could just see, like, through the years history, the data of how businesses can do. You can be here, but once they don't need you, they can let you go. And so you as a person have to remember that you are always in control. You're in control of your mind, how you respond, and, you know, how you will maneuver through the next chapter in your life. And so another thing that I wanted to add to piggyback off is that God, he keeps giving us lessons until we get it, until we learn it. So you may be banging your head up against the wall and saying, like, you know, man, why didn't I see this coming? But the lessons here, these things are happening because they're here for us to all grow, to expand as human beings. And I truly believe that as time go on, like, humanity in itself, we're all going to grow, we're all going to evolve, or we're definitely going to have more lessons that we have learned from this, and to grow as a person. So I want you to go ahead and type a 2 in the chat, like if you already knew that, you know, you can't control what others do, you only can control what you do. Type a 2 in the chat for me if that's something that you have already known. And then my third point that I wanted to talk about here is that now it's so to speak, now it's time for you to put your money where your mouth is. And so what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is, like, at some point you want to stop talking about what you are going to do and just do it. So being in this entrepreneur space, I've heard a lot of times where clients, you know, they're making money, or even if they're about to start a business, like, you know, they're like, I'm like, well, I'm about to do this, or I'm getting ready to do this, or I know I need to be doing my bookkeeping and keep better track of my numbers, but for now I'm just going to keep getting this money, keep, you know, making it and you know, hustling, if that's a term. But, you know, at some point, you have to realize that you have to hold your own feet to the fire, because nothing is promised. We can, you know, we have a good example of what's going on right now today. And I get it. I can attest to that. Back then when I first started out, you know, it's scary. You turning on your camera, you know, just talking into it to people that can't talk back to you, but you only can see what's going on in the chat. You know, you have all these thoughts going to you through your mind about knowing what to talk about. You're starting from zero, as far as like 0 followers, 0 people on your email list, 0 money in the bank. But, you know, once you get through all that noise, you see that it gets easier one day at a time. And so those were some of the lessons that I had to learn, and I thought it was just very fitting for me to bring this up right now, especially in this moment, for those that are parallelpreneurs, small business owners, and you know, you're at the point where you have money now, you know, you have consistent revenue coming in. And I can't stress enough how important it is right now to not let your bookkeeping go to the wayside at any moment, any point right now, because again, you need to have your services outlined. You need to know like what services are making you money. You need to know, are you even making money? Because it's possible to make money, but you're not profitable. And that was a huge lesson for me to learn. That's one of the things that I teach in master classes that I offer. We dig deep into these topics, and I show you how to have money, not just money, but how to have a profit. But again, I wanted to remind you, you know, you're in that space now where you are ready to grow. So perhaps you may have been nudged, hint, hint, you've been let go abruptly, or you're just wanting to be proactive and take the steps. So should something do happen, you can have your books in order. And so now the next steps is to go to that next level, because you're ready to grow, you're ready to scale. And so if what I'm talking about interests you and you want to talk with a bookkeeper, particularly QuickBooks Online, that is what I specialize in. I'd be more than happy to do a complimentary 15-minute call with you to get acquainted with you and your business, and to be able to talk through some things about how you're operating in your business, perhaps where would you like to go, if there's any place that you may be stuck, not necessarily stuck, but you're just ready to go to that next level. If you are interested in talking with me and having a one-on-one conversation, I have opened up my calendar for some calls this month. I have about 20 spots available, and I would love to talk with you, get to know your business, and see how the services that I offer for bookkeeping, whether it's tax prep or even just financial advisory services, just to help you along the way, then please, by all means, just type call in the comments, and I will make sure that you get the link to sign up and book your call. And in fact, I'll make sure I pin it in the comments. And if you don't see it in the comments, then just type call in the comments, and I'll make sure you get the link. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Precious Rutland. I'm known as the bookkeeper, and I help real estate investors and small business owners grow and scale their business by 20% in 90 days or less through bookkeeping, tax prep services, and financial advisory services. Okay, until next time, take care.